counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode, man. Selection Sunday is here. Second best Sunday in all of the year. First to me is the Super Bowl Sunday. Sorry. Love college basketball, but I love football too. But before we talk about that, I gotta get into the shows. No, before I talk about any of that, moment of silence for Greg Gumbel. All right. Moment of silence for him, man. Don't worry about my hair, man. Don't worry about that. Gone but never forgotten. Truly iconic in the college basketball space and broadcasting period. He will be missed. Talking about Selection Sundays. Fond memories of him talking about Selection Sundays. Man, we lost a good one. But let's get into these shows that we have from the network. We have the first one, the main show, featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern time to about 8:30ish. Then we got Unfazed featuring Joe and AJ every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Next, we have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Regular season baseball starts in 2 days. Well, it's now opening day, the Tokyo Series, but Dodgers Cubs, Tokyo Series, I believe is Tuesday. Then we have RBO Road Ballers Only featuring Vaughn. His Magic just got a big win. A huge win against the Cavs ending their winning streak. My Pistons lost to the Thunder last night. Next, we have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports, which, by the way, I forgot to turn Dave's Dave's caption off. My bad. Next, we have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, Tomo, boxing episode every Sunday, every other Sunday. Shout out to Tomo. He wasn't available today, so I got Selection Sunday by myself. This was supposed to be one of the Sundays they go live, but they can't go live today. Unfortunately for them, fortunately for me. But yeah, make sure y'all check that out. And we have, I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Fantasy football is not here, but we do have the offseason, and he will be talking about the offseason, so make sure y'all check him out whenever he goes live. And I believe that's all the shows we have for y'all. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to those shows as well as mine. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, I'm going to go over some automatic qualifiers, tournament winners, real quick. If the bracket's not being released, I'm looking at the show. I don't think the bracket's being released. Auburn, I think no, they're not. Okay, cool. So as y'all know, I can't have the show on. The South region is being released, and Auburn is the number one of the South region. So they just jump right into it. Let's see who Auburn will be playing as I try to set my phone up. Where's my pen? I didn't think they would jump into it. They play the winner of Alabama State, who won their conference tournament, and St. Francis of Pennsylvania, who won their conference tournament. So the NEC conference tournament winner versus the SWAC conference tournament winner. Shout out to those two teams. They will be playing on Tuesday. Shout out. Next, we have Louisville as a 8 seed. Very shocking to me that Louisville is an 8 seed in my opinion, but Louisville is an 8 seed. As I'm still trying to get my stuff together. As they will take on the 9th seed. Still have not released it. Creighton versus Louisville. What a game that is, in my opinion. Ooh, that's a good game right there. Creighton lost to the runner. Both teams runner-up in their conference tournaments. Louisville's a runner-up in the ACC. Creighton runner-up in the Big East. Michigan as a 5th seed. They just won the Big Ten tournament. I hated that I had to see it, but I guess shout out to them for doing it. I'm on my show. Like I say, I show no bias. So shout out to them. They will take on 12th seed. They will take on 12th seed in Denver, Colorado, I should say. As they wait for them to release it. UC San Diego. Ooh, potential upset there. We will talk about that shortly. But 5-12, man, those are key upset spots. We got a comment. Shout out my boy Teddy. He said, yo. I didn't get your voice message, but I got your other message saying you can't make the show. It's all good. Shout out to Duke for winning the tournament. We have 4th seed, Texas A&M. The Aggies at A&M. They had a pretty good season. Y'all remember last year they had that really good game against Houston. They will take on the Yale Bulldogs as the 13th seed. Yale winning the Ivy League today, beating Cornell by 6 with Nas Mbang and the guys. They lost Matt Nolan. I believe he went to USC, and they kept it rolling, won the Ivy League. So as I'm trying to write this stuff down, but that's the top half of the bracket. Like I said, I'm trying to write it down. They jumped into it. I was not ready for them to get into it that fast. I thought I would have time to announce automatic qualifiers as we have the 6th seed Ole Miss taking on the winner of San Diego State and North Carolina. So Javon, I told you, North Carolina does make the tournament. They are in the last 4 in. I told you, but way back when they got a shot. They did everything I said they needed to do, minus beating Pitt that one game. They lost to Pitt, but they made a tournament run. They won all the games they're supposed to win. They wasn't going to be Duke. They actually put up a fight against Duke until late in the game. But, North Carolina's in. And 3 seed Iowa State and Milwaukee, Wisconsin will take on Lipscomb. Lipscomb won the SoCon. No, SoCon was Wofford. I forgot what conference Lipscomb's in. That was the conference. I forgot. I forgot. But, oh, my God, they released this already. 7th seed Marquette in the Big East will take on 10th seed New Mexico. So New Mexico being an automatic qualifier. So shout out to y'all know me, man. I've been talking about New Mexico all year. Donovan Dent, one of the best point guards in the country. And Michigan State is a 2 seed in the bracket with Auburn. I'm not going to lie. I thought we were going to be in the bracket with Florida. Michigan State is the 2 seed where we will be taking on in Cleveland, Ohio. We will take on. Dang, they released the other joint so fast. Who we playing? Bryant University, the winners of the American East. Shout out to Bryant for making the tournament. We will play them Friday at Cleveland, Ohio. And the winner of Michigan State, Bryant, will take on the winner of New Mexico and Marquette. So as I'm trying to write these down real quick, I'm going to move my phone over here so I can try to write these down. We got some potential upsets here. We got Yale, who upset Auburn a couple years ago, if y'all remember that. We have UC San Diego, who couldn't qualify for the tournament last year, came back, and I saw they were possibly an automatic qualifier even without beating UC Irvine in the Big West tournament, which they did do that. Hold on. Still trying to write. They moving the joint kind of fast. We got Ole Miss, who's a really good team, led by Sean Padula, taking on the winner of San Diego State and North Carolina. Iowa State at Lipscomb. I'm trying to write so fast before they change this graphic, y'all. Y'all excuse me. Again, they threw me off with how fast they came on to the bracket. But I really like Iowa State a whole lot. It sucks for me that we got to be in a bracket with Auburn because Auburn's one of them scary teams that could win it all. They really could. They have a National Player of the Year candidate in Janai Broome. All right. Oh, wrong team. We're on the wrong team. And hold on. They didn't change it, but I think I got it all. I just forgot the 16 seed who St. Francis plays. But let's talk about this bracket. Any potential upsets. I'm looking at the bracket. I think we handle business against Bryant. I think Auburn beats the winner of St. Francis and Alabama State. That's who it was. Louisville Creighton. I think Creighton is the potential winner in this Louisville Creighton matchup. I like the way that Creighton can shoot the ball. Now, St. John yesterday, don't let that game confuse you. St. John is a team that no matter what they do in the first half, in the second half, they turn up. And that first half is just irrelevant. The way they finally took the lead in that second half and then immediately went up double digits, went on that run was ridiculous. But that is something St. John's do all the time. So don't look at that and be like, well, Creighton trash or whatever. No, that's just St. John being St. John. Louisville, they've been without one of their best players, and Keyshawn Pryor the entire year, but they've been doing well, but they've been feasting, in my opinion, in a weak ACC. Now, still a good team. Love Chucky Hepburn, really good player, transfer from Wisconsin. I think he was on the all-defensive team. Terrence Edwards, that was my guy from JMU last year. He could score. He's a big-time player. But to me, they have a lot of guys that you have to set up. And I think if Steven Ashworth, if he can get hot against Louisville, that'll be a problem. Creighton also has the 4-time reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Year and Ryan Kokebrenner, who's a shot changer, shot blocker. And that gave Louisville a lot of problems with Duke last night, where the big man from Duke, the freshman, the foreign player from Duke, he gave him a lot of fits at the rim. And I think that'll be the same with Kokebrenner from Creighton. And then you got the athletic shooter in Jemiah Neal, who at the free throw line could somewhat be a liability, but you get that man in open court, he's so athletic. So I think Creighton is a potential upset in this one. I think UC San Diego has the potential to upset Michigan. Now, Michigan got the size possibly on UC San Diego, but, man, UC San Diego got 2 players in Tyler McGee and Tate Jones who can, like I said, combine for 35 points, and they can get scoring at will. And when they get the scoring, they're tough to stop. Also a 30-win team in the Big West. Only 1 or 2 losses in the Big West, coming in really hot, really streaky. And like with games like today, Michigan played well, don't get me wrong, but they missed a lot of easy ones. They missed a lot of shots. And I feel like if you can get physical with Michigan, it kind of bodes a little problem with them. And again, being unbiased, their issue with us, in my opinion, is we're physical with them. And that's why we're able to just wear down on them and eventually beat them by double digits. So I think UC San Diego is a potential upset. Yale, never can count out Yale, man. And that's why I'm going to say that's a potential one. You can never count out Yale. Like I said, dating back to when they beat Auburn. I think that was a 4-13 situation, if I'm not mistaken, or 14-3. It was one of those. Never can discount Yale. Like I said, I keep this. Mbang. You just say Mbang, really good player. Now, Texas A&M, they're a good team. Zoric Phillips at times, I love him, transfer from SMU, but at times, I feel like he settles a lot. Zoric Phillips is a guy that needs to go to the rim, in my opinion, and I feel like he settles as they're back from commercial. So I'm going to look at one more upset. I think New Mexico can upset Marquette as we're revealing another bracket. We are revealing the Duke is the 1 seed in the – I need to know because I got the East region. So we're in the East region with Duke being the 1 seed, where they will take on – that's last. They will take on in Raleigh, North Carolina. How freaking crazy is that? That's really fair. They're in Raleigh, going against the winner of American and Mount St. Mary's. So Duke should have no issues coming out the first round, in my opinion. Shout out to American University, man. School in, I think, Washington, D.C. made the tournament. Mississippi State is an 8th seed, just like they're in the 8-9, just like last year. They lost the 8-9 last year to Michigan State, but nonetheless, congratulations to them, and they will take on Baylor, the Baylor Bears. So shout out Scott Drew and them. I love Baylor's team. They got 2 phenomenal freshmen, and Rob Wright and VJ Edgecombe. Oregon is a 5 seed in the East. Dana Altman and his crew really hot until they played MSU in the Big Ten tournament. Winners of 8 straight. Ain't nobody. I gotta go with these comments. Hold on. Well, they would take on Liberty and Caden Mahaney, who had a phenomenal Conference USA tournament. Man is a streaky shooter, and Arizona is a 4th seed. Playing in Seattle. I don't know how this is the East. Playing in Seattle, where they would take on Akron. Akron completed the 18-point comeback against Miami of Ohio last night in the MAC championship. Nate Johnson hit the floater in the lane with seconds left on the clock to win that game. So shout out to the Akron Zips, another year in the tournament. And we have BYU, who was also another hot team until they went against the Houston Cougars as a 6 seed, where they will take on. We'll skip that for now. While as we skip that, I'll get into some comments. Dave said he's with Teddy on that 12-5 upset with Michigan. BYU will take on VCU, a very good defensive team who won the 8-10 regular season and tournament. Dave says he's like New Mexico. I kind of like New Mexico too. Marquette, not really convincing to me. He says, okay, MSU about getting a 2 seed. Yeah, we was a 2 seed no matter what happened in that tournament. Teddy says, cry about it, about y'all being a 1 seed in Raleigh, North Carolina. That is crazy, though. As Wisconsin is I want to say a 3 seed. Yeah, 3 seed. Where they will take on the 14th seeded Montana Grizzlies. Montana won the Big Sky, beating Northern Colorado. Wisconsin runner-up in the Big Ten. Wisconsin's a really good team, really sound defensive team, and they're led by the guy John Tunji. Where we have St. Mary's being a 7th seed. I think this is kind of disrespectful. I think this is kind of disrespectful having St. Mary's as a 7th seed here. Really good WCC team. Seeding probably would have been different if they won the tournament. Where they take on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt hasn't been in the tournament since, I believe, 2017, led by star guard Jason Edwards and star guard AJ Hogarth coming from MSU. Those guys can score in bunches. Tyler Nickel, another guy that can shoot a 3 from Virginia Tech. That's a really good team there. And Bama is the 2 seed. Bama is the 2 seed in the East, where they will be taking on 15th seeded. Well, I'll wait. Last comment was that's another upset. I don't know what upset alert he was talking about because I was a little late behind the comments trying to read the bracket. They will take on Robert Morris, one of the hotter teams in the country. They only lost 1 game after starting off 2-4 in the Horizon League play to win the Horizon League and win the Horizon League tournament. So shout out to the Colonials and Robert Morris. The East bracket is set. Again, Teddy, comment who you think your upset alert is. I'm going to go to my potential upsets after I get to my banners. Boom. So potential upsets in the East. First, Baylor over Mississippi State, in my opinion. Now, the thing with this Baylor game is Norchad Omier has to stay out of foul trouble because they've been without their other big man for basically the majority of the year. Omier has to stay out of foul trouble. He is key. He's a lot of the presence that Baylor has down low. But if guys like Jalen Celestine and Rob Wright and VJ Edgecombe and even Jeremy Roach, Jaden Nunn, if those guys can get going, it's tough to beat the Baylor Bears. Now, in the Mississippi State end, you got Josh Hubbard, the phenomenal sophomore. He's a problem on the court. He's really talented, but I think, man, Baylor wins this one. Now, we have a comment. Oh, Liberty, Oregon, that's potential upset. Now, I'm not picking that as my potential upset, but I do like it. Maybe because I like Dana Ullman a lot. I love Jackson Shellsted. I think Jackson Shellsted is going to be a problem for the Liberty Flames defensively. And then they got guards that can go, man. They got Keyshawn Bartholomew who can hit the open 3. Nate Brittle is tough to stop. He can step back, shoot the 3. He's a presence in the paint. And Brandon Angel, the transfer from Stanford, he's really good as well. And let's not forget about Kwame Evans. He's been stepping up in his role with the Oregon Ducks. So I do like it. I'm not rolling with it, but I do like it. Another potential upset to me. VCU BYU is one that can potentially be upset alert. The thing with that is VCU has to hit the 3 ball at a high clip because BYU, they share the ball a lot. They move the ball very well, and they all mostly can shoot the 3 ball with VCU. Now, like I said, VCU is a very defensive-led team with Max Shulga, Joe Bassamil, and all those guys. But if BYU can find ways to score and score easily, I think they'll be okay against VCU. VCU's defense is going to have to be the calling card in that game. I like Wisconsin over Montana. St. Mary's and Vanderbilt is a really good game. Again, this is another game where St. Mary's defense is going to have to be the calling card in this one. I do like Mikey Lewis. I'm the freshman shooting daggone there 50% from 3 off the bench. Y'all know I love Augustus Marcelonitz, point guard for St. Mary's. Mitchell Saxton is a problem down low. He's going to give Dwight McLaughlin everything he can handle down low. But Vanderbilt's played this tough SEC schedule. They played in this tough SEC with bigs like Janai Broome, Dylan Caldwell, Grant Nelson, Amari Williams, Igor Milicic, the list. North Shore don't miss Big 12. My fault. Alex Condon, Asa Newell was. He's not really a big, but he's a front court player. But they played against all these big, so they do have the experience against these big men. That's a potential upset alert. I think I like St. Mary's in that matchup, but I can't see Vanderbilt winning that one. I think I'm gonna choose Baylor, Mississippi State though as my upset in this one, 9-8. Yeah. I like Arizona, Akron, but if Arizona is Caleb Love. If Caleb Love gets going, it's tough for Akron because Arizona can defend. You got Jaden Bradley, Mikey Lewis, KJ Lewis off the bench for Arizona. Henry Vassar has been playing amazing lately. He can also step back and shoot the three. He's a big that's really good defensively. Now you got the guard play like for Akron, like I said, Nate Johnson, Tafari Johnson, and Isaiah Gray. But you also got guard play in Arizona, so I think that's a tough one there. I think Arizona gets that one done. I talked about BYU VCU. I think Wisconsin beats Montana. Wisconsin with the height and John Tunji, the star power, John Tunji, who had a bad game today, so he's going to be looking to correct that in the tournament. And just Bama's just too much. Now, here's some things with Bama, right? You already been without Latrell Wrightsell the entire year. You're one of your best shooters. He's gone. He's been gone all year with an injury. Grant Nelson, he left the SEC semifinal game, I believe, with a foot or a knee injury. I can't remember, but he left with an injury. They're going to get him looked at today. His whether he's playing or not is up in the air at the moment. So that's something to look out for. Because Bama, if Bama, let's just say the 1-2 matches up, Bama Duke, Grant Nelson not playing, it'll be a long day for Bama. Now Bama still got guys. They still got Clifford Amarui, who was one of the best defenders in the Big Ten last year, transfer from Rutgers. They still got Stevenson. They got length, but Grant Nelson is still a big part of the Bama offense and defense because Bama likes to chuck threes. Mark Sears, Aiden Holloway, Chris Youngblood, Grant Nelson, they're going to chuck their threes. LeBaron Philon, they're chucking threes. So that's going to be tough for Duke, especially if Grant Nelson playing. But we're about to get another bracket revealed. My bad. Another bracket revealed. I think we're doing the West. Oh, another thing, with this being muted, I don't know who the number one overall seed is because it's muted. I can't hear anything. So I'm assuming the number one overall seed was Duke. That's what I'm assuming. But Houston is a 1 seed as I expected. And they're going to be the 1 seed of I'm assuming the West. I mean the South. South bracket? Nope, Midwest. The West. The Midwest bracket. So let's see. So Houston's the 1 seed. They will play in Wichita, Kansas, where they will take on SIU Edwardsville, who beat my Ohio Valley Conference champion. They beat it wasn't Morehead State. It was Seymour State, Southeast Missouri State. Gonzaga is an 8 seed after beating the St. Mary's to avoid the 3-0 sweep in the WCC championship game. Gonzaga will take on 9th seed. Wow, they taking a little minute. Gonzaga will take on 9th seed. All right, come on, man. Now that I'm caught up in writing, now they want to take their sweet little time. That's crazy. They will take on Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs. This is the first 8th seed I think that I like to win their matchup. Shout out Georgia, though. I don't remember the last time Georgia made the tournament. Even with Anthony Edwards, I don't think they made the tournament. So shout out to them. We have 5th seed Clemson. Clemson making back-to-back tournaments. Clemson coming off of an Elite 8 run, I believe, last year with Chase Hunter and the guys. They will Ian Shefflin, PJ Hall. They will take on 12th ranked McNeese. Upset alert. McNeese is a team that could potentially play into the second weekend, coached by Will Wade. And they're tough. That is upset alert. 4th seed Purdue in the Midwest, where they will take on the 13th seed High Point. I forgot what High Point. I want to say they're not the Eagles. I forgot what High Point is, but they will take on High Point. Shout out to John Brown. That was like the last High Point memorable guy I remember playing. He was like a high flyer too for High Point. Shout out to him. But they won the Big South. They were my Big South champs, and they won. So shout out to them. 6th seed, Illinois. The Illinois Fighting Illini will be the 6th seed in this bracket. Well, they will take on the 11th seed and Milwaukee. It's kind of relatively close too for them. They will take on 11th seed Texas or Xavier. So Texas and Xavier were a part of the last four in as well. Or first four in, whatever. They play each other on Wednesday. So the winner will then face Illinois. Texas, man, they got a guy in Trey Johnson, freshman. He's a bucket. With this little break in the bracket, I will say I do want to see Boise State make the tournament. I do think Boise State deserves to make the tournament. I know Boise State was 3-6 in quad one, but most of their quad one losses were in conference, just like another team, Oklahoma, who may make it. Kentucky is a 3 seed. The Wildcats of Kentucky will take on the Trojans. Trojans, winner of the Sun Belt tournament. UCLA is a 7 seed. Well, they will take on the 10th seed Utah State. This is a game I gotta think about. I think I'm gonna roll with UCLA in this one. Tennessee is the 2 seed in this bracket. Very, very tough out. Tennessee lost runner-up to Florida in the SEC tournament, which Florida hasn't won since 2014. So shout out to Ty Golden and those boys finally getting it done. Made it to the final last year and lost to Auburn. Reread that wrong this year. And Tennessee will take on the Wofford Terriers, the SoCon champions, who beat Furman in the championship. Shout out to the Terriers. That is your Midwest bracket. We have one more region left, which is the West region. Hold on. I forgot to change that. So let's talk about some potential upsets. In this one, obviously, McNeese, Clemson, really good team. Chase Hunter and his brother Dylan Hunter, really good. Ian Shefflin is a presence down low, but I think McNeese man's a team, running gun, can score, can play defense, defend very well coached by Will Wade, winners of the Southland Conference 2 years straight, only having 2 conference losses in those 2 years. Team that can get it done. They could play until next week. That's a potential upset alert right there. We'll go. Dang, I think that's my only upset alert. So I'm going to just pick that as my upset. My upset is going to be McNeese over Clemson. I love Clemson. I think they're a really talented team, but McNeese is a really talented team as well. I really don't see any other upsets. UCLA, Utah State could be one, but I like UCLA really good defensively. They got guys that can score with Sebastian Mack and Dylan Andrews and Sky Clark. Can't forget about Sky Clark. They have 2 guys down low as a presence, Tyler Bilodeau and Adamara. Those 2 guys down low are a big presence. Utah State, they do have Ian Martinez, who he can go. Ian Martinez can go. Drake Allen, who's coming off the bench, he's been a starter his whole career, but at Utah State, he decided to come off the bench, and he's been doing well off the bench for them. And Mason Felslav, a guy that can shoot the 3-ball really well effectively, and he can also score as well. So Utah State, they have their own guys, but I just think UCLA may be too much for them defensively, and I think they go on. Tennessee, I think, as much as I love Wofford as an underdog story, Tennessee is just too much. I think that's the case there. Houston's just too much offensively and defensively for SIU Edwardsville. I think Georgia beats Gonzaga. I think that's my first A seed I picked to win, actually. Gonzaga, they just got experience, man. Ryan Nembhard, experienced guy, I think he leads the country in assists. You got Graham Ike, who I thought was gone at the start of the year, but he's back. That's more experience there. He was with the team last year. Nolan Hickman, a guy who can create his own scoring. Then you bring over Khalif Battle, who's a transfer. He played, I believe, at Arkansas last year. He's a guy that can create his own offense. You got Greg, who can shoot extended. He can stretch the floor. Ben Gregg. So Gonzaga has a lot there. Now, Georgia, they're a really good team. Again, I talked about Ace Newell, the phenomenal freshman. He can score. Blue Kane is a lights out shooter. He was one of Georgia's most coveted recruits last year. They're a really good team in Georgia, but I think Gonzaga is just a little too much. Gonzaga is also a team. Well, they didn't have the draw of playing Houston if it goes the way I think it goes. next round. I thought Gonzaga would be a team that can play into next week, but ultimately I have Houston beating Gonzaga. So I think Gonzaga is going to win one game and then lose on the Elite in the round of 32. Purdue. I've said this a lot. I might have said this on the show before, but I say it a lot. It's funny how funny in the light Purdue looks when they don't have an abnormally large big man. They don't have a Zach Yee. They don't have an Isaac Hawes. They don't have a Ronnie Humble. They don't. They don't have an abnormally large big. They didn't look that great. Now Braden Smith, dog. Braden Smith's a dog. Facilitator, very good defensive player. He can score. He does it all for Purdue. He's the dog. I know a lot of people dislike Braden Smith. I don't fall into that category. I told my man, Braden Smith is what people thought Aaron Craft was. Braden Smith is a really, really good player. And they got guys. They got Miles Colvin, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman. He stepped up tremendously this year. Now, the thing with them is if Trey Kaufman gets in foul trouble, they can get in danger, but I don't think that's going to be the case against High Point. Illinois is a hot and cold team. So for that, they could be on potential upset alert because they're just hot and cold. You don't know what you're going to get with them. You can get Illinois playing at their best when they look like one of the best teams in the country, or they could just be cold where you just don't see the hype. And so that's that there. Now, playing against a Texas team, there could be some issues with a guy like Trey Johnson who can just score at will. Arthur Kaluma, who's a really good defender, and Tremont Mark, who's also a good bucket who can score as well. He's a transfer, I believe, from Arkansas as well. That could pose an issue as we get into our last bracket. Let's get into the West bracket, where Florida obviously was the 1 seed, winning the SEC tournament again. That's a tough out, in my opinion. Florida is going to be a tough out. I'm gonna just say that now. Florida is a team that could potentially win it all. They can make the Final Four. They're a tough out. They will take on 6 seed Norfolk State. Shout out to them winning the MEAC like I thought they would. Again, I said it when they're the number 1 seed of recent in their conference tournament. They win it. UConn is an 8th seed. 8th seed UConn will take on the 9th seed Oklahoma Sooners. I didn't want Oklahoma to make it. Oklahoma went 6-12 in conference play, but because they're in the SEC, they made the tournament. I dislike it tremendously, which also means to me that Arkansas will make the tournament, which means to me Boise State is out. 5th seed Memphis. The Memphis Tigers won the American Conference regular season and tournament, beating UAB. UAB was looking for, I believe, 3 straight American Elite titles. Fell short. The Memphis, they will take on Colorado State, the hottest team, in my opinion, in the country. They come into this, on a 10-game win streak, beating Boise State badly in a Mountain West tournament. Well, they ended up winning by like 13. But Maryland is the 4th seed in this region. Maryland is a really good team. They lost by 1. Trey Donaldson hit a game-winning layup in the Big Ten semis, but they're a really good team. They're really dependent on their starters. The bench kind of doesn't give them that much production, and they will take on the 13th seed Grand Canyon Cantaloupes. Now, Grand Canyon, they ran it back. Tyon Grant Foster, Ray Harrison ran it back. Tough draw for the Antelopes of Grand Canyon. 6th seed, the Missouri Tigers. It has been a minute since Mizzou has been in the tournament. I can't remember the last time I remember is with like Jordan Clarkson, I think. No, was it Jordan Clarkson? I think it was Phil Pressey, Ernest Ross. I think that was the last time. But they will take on the Drake Bulldogs. This is upset alert. Upset alert. Now, the thing is, though, Mizzou can score. Drake has issues scoring, but they're really good defensively. So, again, this is another game where the defense will have to be the calling card if you see an upset. I think 14th right here is where we're going to see Arkansas. 3 seed Texas Tech. I love this Red Raider basketball team led by Elijah Hawkins. I think they can go far depending on the draws. Nope. 14th will be UNC Wilmington. The Seahawks of UNC Wilmington, winners of the CAA Colonial Athletic Conference. It's a good draw. Well, bad draw for them getting Texas Tech because I love this Red Raider team. And I'll talk about that in a second. Kansas being a 7th seed. Okay. So this has to be Arkansas, or Arkansas didn't make it. Yep, Arkansas. Takes on Arkansas. So get your jokes flying. We got Kansas versus Arkansas. Yeah, get your jokes flying. And 2 seed in this one is probably who we missing? Who we missing as a 2 seed? Trying to think about it before it comes out. St. John, that's who we missing. St. John is a 2 seed in this one. So it looks like Boise State didn't make it because of SEC bias this year. It's crazy that I'm saying SEC bias in college basketball. Never thought I would say that. But, man, they will take on Nebraska of Omaha. So Boise State did not make the tournament. I think that is a crime. I think that's criminal. If Boise State was San Diego State, they would have made the tournament. But it is what it is. I guess they can celebrate making the college football playoffs. It sucks. I feel bad for Boise State. Had a net ranking of 44. Again, the only bad quadrant was quadrant 1. But like Oklahoma, you can say, well, Oklahoma was 4-3 against quad 1 coming down to the schedule. They went 6-12 in conference. Like, how are we rewarding the team that went 6-12 in conference? I get it, undefeated in non-con. But you go in conference and you look like a punching bag. You're 6-12. Then I believe they were first round out to Arkansas or something. First or second round out. I don't remember. But no, I think Oklahoma did win 1 game. But either way, I just dislike it. I dislike we're going to reward an SEC team who played in a really elite conference, but went terribly bad in it and just say, forget you to a Mountain West team who was really good. I think Boise State was really good. Went 14-6 in conference play. But I'm not in the committee. My heart goes out to Boise State Bronco fans. I feel like they got snubbed. That was my one snub. I wanted them to get in. They didn't get in. I would have rather them get in over North Carolina. North Carolina didn't deserve to be in over Boise State, as my stuff froze, but we back. I would have rather them get in. But let's talk about potential upsets in this West. I'm gonna start with Drake over Mizzou. Drake over Mizzou is a potential upset. Where's this Arkansas-Kansas game? In Rhode Island? I'm going to go Arkansas-Kansas too. Now, it's no secret. Kansas was absolutely horrible on the road. Horrible. SEC got 14 bids. 14 Are you kidding me? 14 bids out of 18 teams. No, 16 teams. I think South Carolina was 16th. That's the 2 teams that didn't make it was South Carolina, which obviously, duh. And what? And no, I can't remember right now, but that's just stupid. First 4 out was West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio State, and Boise State. Boise State was the second highest net, which behind Ohio State. San Diego State net 52, Xavier net 45, North Carolina was 36, and Texas was 39. So I'm cool with those. But look, like I said, if San Diego State was Boise State, they would be in. If you switch the names, they would be in. San Diego State has the basketball acumen. Boise State really doesn't. So that's terrible to me. I feel like Boise State should be in. I would say UNC had a high net, cool, whatever, blah. Even over San Diego State, put them in over them. They made it to the final of their conference. They beat San Diego State to make it to the conference final. I think they were the higher seed than San Diego State. Come on, whatever, man. It's just whatever. Back to potential upsets. Yeah, so Arkansas, they have the potential to upset Kansas because Kansas is absolutely terrible on the road. That's honestly mainly my main point because there's no home games. They were really good at Island Fieldhouse, terrible on the road. Arkansas has been hot of late, playing better of late. They played better with the injuries to. Now, I'm not saying these people were the reason why they were losing, but it just is what it is. When Boogie Flandon and Adu Thero got hurt, Arkansas did play better. Not saying because they got hurt, it's just how the trend was. That's all I'm saying. So Arkansas has the potential to beat Kansas. I talked about my snub in Boise State. Let's talk about bracket winners. I guess we can do that real quick. I'll get rid of this one because I put regional winners. Get rid of that because the field is announced. So your field is announced. So we'll get into some regional winners real quick. And we're going to start with whatever I have first here. All right, so we're going to start with the East. The 1 seed is Duke. The 2 seed is Bama. The 3 seed Wisconsin. The 4 I'm not going to say all that. So in the East, my winner of the region will be. Now this is dependent upon Grant Nelson. Bama. If Grant Nelson is available and he's playing, I'm going Bama. If Grant Nelson is not available, I'm going Duke. Now, the reason why I want to go Bama, because like I said, man, Bama chucks up threes and hits them at a consistent rate. Now, defensively, they got some issues. But they have an All-American, in my opinion, in Mark Sears. They have guys that can score in bunches. They have the length defensively to disrupt you. They have length to disrupt you. They're not the greatest defensive team. They do have some length, and I think that could bode problems for a team like Duke. And Duke also has the injury now on Cooper Flagg. Now, I think Cooper Flagg is ready to go for the tournament. I think they just said, we'll prioritize the tournament over the ACC tournament. You would love to win the ACC tournament, get you a banner, cool, but in the grand scheme of things, that is not important. What is important is the big dance. So I think that was the case there. But all in all, I do think that Bama's ability to make threes at a high rate wins them the East region. And plus, they have the experience. These guys were just there. These guys were in the Final Four last year. They took on tough teams. They lost to UConn, where it felt like they should have beat UConn. It just seemed like they could not miss against UConn, but UConn was just a better team last year. So I'm going to roll with Bama to win the East. Like, I'm pretty sure I have a Duke comment. I already know it's one of you Dukies. Yep, see, I got Duke no matter what. I already knew it was a Dookie. We're going to move on to the West. I said it, man. Florida's a tough out. Going Florida. This is one of the best Florida teams I've seen in a long time. Florida can not only score, but they can defend at a high level. Elijah Martin, Walter Clayton, who was an SEC Player of the Year candidate with Mark Sears and Janai Broom, who Janai Broom automatically won it. Elijah Martin, Will Richard, Alex Condon down low. They're a team that defended at a high level. They absolutely dominated on their run to the SEC tournament. And here's the thing, right? Y'all say the SEC is the best conference, and we've seen probably historically, they dominated this tournament. Straight dominated it. So I'm going to go Florida, man. Florida is my winner to come out the West. I do like St. John's. I think St. John's going to put up a good fight. I actually like Texas Tech. Secondly, with Darion Williams and Chance McMillan possibly coming back, I think Texas Tech is second to come out the West, in my opinion, then St. John. But ultimately, I'm going Florida to come out the West. Next, Midwest, Houston. Going Houston. Why? Because I think this is potentially Houston's year to win it. This is potentially Houston's year to win it. Now, I don't know what's going on with Jawan Francis. We got to keep an eye on that. But Houston's a team that could have won it last year if it wasn't for the injury to Jamal Shedd. Jamal Shedd got hurt in the Duke game, and you can tell that just instantly threw Houston out of whack. In my opinion, they ran the offense through Jawan Francis, which they should have ran it through LJ Cryer, and the offense just looked sporadic, and Duke was able to escape out of that. But this year, barring injury, I have Houston coming out at, let's say, 4 seeds by region. The number 1 overall seed was Auburn, actually. That is crazy. Auburn was actually the number 1 overall seed. I was wrong in the chat. I thought it would be Duke. It was Auburn. So, Dookie's my apology. I thought it would be Auburn or Houston. And not Auburn, Houston. I thought it would be Duke or Houston, and it was Auburn. So, my apologies, Dookie's in the chat. But, yeah, I'm going to roll with Houston to win the Midwest. Now, Tennessee is obviously a big team that could win it. I think Illinois is a team that could possibly win the Midwest, but again, they're high and cold. It depends on what Illinois you get. You can get Illinois, like I said, that look like the best team in the country, one of the best team in the country, or you can get the Illinois team who they just don't look good. Example, Maryland game, this tournament got blown out by Maryland. Did not look good, but they could look really good. But again, we're on Houston and the last region, the South region. I am going with, and it pains me to do this as an MSU fan, Auburn. Because, again, Auburn is a team that can win it all. Not only do they play good offensively, they have guys like Chad Baker-Mazar, Todd Pettiford off the bench who makes big plays, big shots. Denver Jones, who he's more so lessened his role as a defensive player, where at FIU he was a scorer, he was a bucket. Miles Kelly. And last but not least, Janai Broom. And also a defensive player of the year candidate in a lot of people's eyes, and Dylan Caldwell. They just have the pieces and the experience and the age. I'm not going to lie. They're like one of the oldest teams in the country to win it all. So I do think that they win the South. Obviously, I'm picking MSU as the second team to come out Look at this, man. UNC was 1-12 at quarter one and got in over Boise State. Are you serious? Because they feasted on the weak ACC, just like I told Javon. They feasted on the teams that had to feast on -1 game against Pitt, made a run, and got in. I already knew it because I got the name. It's the name, bro. UNC. You put Boise State on that resume right there, they don't get in. It's the name. All right, back to this. Iowa State was without Tamin Lepsey and Keyshawn Gilbert in the Big 12 tournament where they lost to BYU. So but they're a good team. I don't think Texas A&M has a shot. I don't think Michigan have a shot. Only because they play Auburn next. Creighton doesn't have a shot. So I'm rolling with Auburn. Auburn's my team to win it. Obviously, my second pick would be MSU. So I have 3 1 seeds and a 2 seed. Now, this is a tournament. That doesn't happen. That normally doesn't happen. So let's go to a dark horse in each region. I'm going to go to a dark horse in each region to play devil's advocate. So we know it rarely happens where 1 and 2 seeds all make the tournament. You have your runs. You have your Cinderella runs. You have all of that. So we're going to go back to the East. I'll take this comment down. I got to pick. I got to make a never. Let's just do this. Let's do potential Cinderellas. Boom. So, potential Cinderellas. We're going to start back with the East. A potential Cinderella, and this is to me, we're going to go St. Mary's again because they are really good defensively. If they can get by Bama in that second game, the round of 32, sky's the limit for St. Mary's. They will also have to get past Wisconsin, who I think them and Wisconsin match up so similar. Mitchell Saxon and Stephen Crawl, then Nolan Winter, and God, I'm going to just say Paul because I don't know how to pronounce that name, bro. 23, big man. I'm just say Paul. They match up. John Tonji. I guess I'm going to just say Augustus Marcelonis, but they match up pretty similar, so they can get past that one as well. My potential Cinderella, that one's going to be St. Mary's. Next, in the West, my potential Cinderella, let's see, because Texas Tech wouldn't be a Cinderella to me. A 3 seed making the Final Four is not a Cinderella, in my opinion. I'm going to go Colorado State. I'll go Colorado State. Why? Because they're one of the hottest teams in the country. They're on a 10-game win streak. Nick Clifford is looking more and more like a pro. He has the experience playing with Isaiah Stevens, who made the tournament last year. They can get hot for 3, demonstrated in the Mountain West final. If they could get past Memphis, who's a really good team, they would then play Maryland Grand Canyon, who they can get past as well. Then they would then play Florida, which if they get past Florida, I don't see them having an issue beating. Well, they would have an issue beating Texas Tech and St. John. But again, this is potential Cinderellas, dark horses. So out of the higher seeds, the team that I can see making a run, I'm gonna go Colorado State. I just don't believe in UConn. I don't. And Bobby Hurley's been looking real foolish, to be nice. He's been looking real foolish this year. Speaking of, let's talk about this real quick. Bobby Hurley and UConn had the nerve to be mad at Jemiah Neal for making that dunk late in the game, which, I mean, yes, unwritten rule, not supposed to do that, right? Cool. But, and I said this before they said it on the media when it happened. I said he probably did that because what Bobby Hurley did in Creighton. We didn't forget what you said to our student section. The guys that, that get us going when we need us to get going. The guys that cheer us on week in and week out. Might skip class to come to the game. We ain't forget what you said to them. You pointed to your ring finger. You said you own this school and this building. You said all that. So you think we're not going to remember that? And when we have a chance to, shove it in your face? So that's why he did it. Again, shout out to McDermott, Coach McDermott. He said he shouldn't have did it. But deep down, I know he was with it. He probably went to the locker room like, yeah, I don't care about none of that. He shouldn't have said that to our students, You started. You talking trash. Don't get mad when the rabbit got the gun. It ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun. So, not mad at that. Let's move on to another potential Cinderella. In the Midwest, we will go with UCLA. I think UCLA is a potential Cinderella. Now, they got to get past a tough Tennessee team and then possibly a tough Kentucky team. But if UCLA can get out the first weekend, that's a potential Cinderella right there. And plus, we've seen UCLA, albeit with a different coach, we've seen it happen before. So they have the pieces to make a potential Cinderella run. And if I had to pick a higher seed to win it, I'm going to go with UCLA. And the last region, the South region, a potential Cinderella high seed that can make a run, I'll go Creighton. Creighton can get past Auburn. If they can get past Auburn, I can see them beating Michigan. I can see them beating UC San Diego. I can see them beating Texas A&M. I can see them beating Yale. I can see them beating anybody on this list if they can get past Auburn University. So Creighton would be my potential Cinderella in the South if a team makes a run. So yeah, those are my potential Cinderellas. Now, thank y'all for rocking with me through this Selection Sunday show. Again, the bracket has been revealed. I got to be back. We got to talk about the round of 68. We got to talk about American versus Mount St. Mary's. We got to talk about UNC and San Diego State. We got to talk about Texas versus Xavier. And we got to talk about St. Francis versus Alabama State. Those games come up Tuesday. Now, just like last year, I'm going to have my record posted. I'm going to divide it. I might divide it. I don't know. Depends on how hard that is for the producers to do. But I will have my record just like last year. Last year we did really good. We had a winning record. I'm cool with it. So yeah, man. This is the Selection Sunday show. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all watching the show. I will see y'all Tuesday. And I can't wait for the NIT announcements. I'm not gonna lie. Can't wait to watch the NIT. I won't do a show about it. I want to just sit back and watch that one, but I can't wait. But I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.